welcome to another episode of Daddy Confessions. I am your man, John, host of this podcast. This podcast, I don't even know how many years technically it's been going on, but I'm glad you all are here to check out this episode of Daddy Confessions, a podcast that is for fathers, about fathers. We talk to all kinds of fathers, empty nesters, new fathers, and tonight, whatever time of day it is, I have a new father, relatively new father, on the line, and I'm so glad he's here. Daniel, if you want to introduce yourself to the people, sir.
How you doing? I'm Daniel Addison. I have a 1-year-old that'll be 2 November 11th. Husband of 5 years, getting ready to be 6,
All
and
right.
interested in this conversation,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
man.
Hey. I love it. I love it because you are at a place in your fatherhood journey that I think is we as fathers who've been fathers for a little while now, we oftentimes kind of we wipe that out of our mind a little bit. And I'll tell you why a little bit later, but you tell me.
Okay.
I want to know a little bit about what it has been like for you so far. So we'll talk about that tonight.
Okay.
I got a lot of different questions, and you can answer them however you like, sir. And feel free to ask me questions as well. So I want this to be a conversation. That's what I love about this. So, you looking bright eyed and bushy tailed for a father of a 1-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I know. I'm sure your son is keeping you on your toes. So tell me a little bit about, let's start at the beginning, right? So you've been married for 5 years now.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you and your wife got married, was it always on the table that you guys were going to have kids? Was that was always part of the conversation? Like, you knew you was going to have kids, you wanted to have kids, God willing?
On my part,
Okay.
I always grew up wanting a family.
Okay.
Came from a 2-parent household. Unfortunately, they didn't last forever, but until about 10, 11 years old, they had split up. Or not until, but they split up when I was about 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
Long story short, I grew up wanting the opposite. I wanted to have a family that has a foundation that can depend on one another, just love and depend on the Lord, most important.
Yeah.
My wife, she grew up, it was a little different. She was adopted. Granted, we have reconciled the relationship with the mother, the father, who has passed away back in 2022. But nonetheless, we did establish a relationship with them, and she didn't want kids at first. But she told me that after meeting me, I don't want to pat myself too much on the back, but she said that she loved to have a family.
There you go. Yeah,
now she wants another child.
There you
so
go. Oh, wait, no,
yeah.
Not yet. Hold on. Breaking news.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you know what?
It's crazy, man. We just had the conversation today.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. Hey, you know what? Two is a good number. It's good it's good for them to be able to have someone that they can play with. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah, but I tell you what, that's an amazing story, and I understand that. For some people, it is very difficult to think about. Having kids and like, what does that mean? What is it? Like the times we're living in, all those kind of things, people get very caught up in those things and what that means from the outside, right? Like, and not thinking about what that can be for your family. Now,
absolutely,
I'm sure you know as well as anybody at this point, like, it ain't easy. Being a parent ain't easy. Being in a marriage ain't always easy.
Not at all.
But it's always one of the things that I talk about quite a bit on this podcast is the idea that being in a marriage is really about understanding that it's a partnership, right?
Yes.
Like, you are with someone in partnership, you're doing life together. You're
Yep.
still individuals, and
Yes,
as
sir.
individuals, you're going to have your own individual mind, your own individual things that are going to happen to you, around you, that you are worried about, and that
Mm-hmm.
it just is what it is, right? That's not going that doesn't change. It doesn't magically go away when you get married, and it definitely doesn't magically go away when you bring in a child, because the child is they're their own person.
Yep.
And what we are doing is, in my opinion, like my humble opinion, what we are doing is that we are raising these little people to be individuals, right? Like we trying to
Yep. Yep.
teach them how to be self-sufficient. We trying to teach them how to be able to do life themselves, right?
Yes, sir.
So that then they can either decide to partner with somebody or not partner with somebody, and be a good life partner for that person, right? Like be a good helpmate for that person. And that's a real important thing that I think oftentimes people don't think about when they think about having kids. They think about, well, I want somebody to love me, and
Mm-hmm.
so they have a kid. And I'm like,
Yep.
well,
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
yeah,
or they want a
you know,
token out here in this world that they want a athlete or something to
oh,
take care of
yeah,
them.
yeah, you're
But
right,
the Bible clearly tells the opposite.
right,
So,
right.
but yep.
Yeah, and those are so those are always, it's always interesting to hear how people arrived at this place of starting a family. And it's never,
Yes.
what I'm saying, it's never people shouldn't take it lightly. And once you win it, you should be in it to
Yep.
win it, right? You should be in it to win it, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Get
yeah,
knocked out of
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's any getting knocked out of it.
So tell me a little bit of, so you guys have been married for 5 years, going on 6 years now.
Hmm?
And so your son is one. So that
Yeah.
means that, you guys waited about 4 years before you had your son.
Yep.
Um
No,
and you already
believe it or
told,
not,
what'd you say?
I was about to say, believe it or not, we were told that we could not have kids,
Mm.
that we were infertile and stuff, which a lot of us go through that
Mm-hmm.
scenario. Just keeping our faith grounded, man, and depending on the Lord. We actually fasted when we got the news, and I believe it was a month. We got the news in December of 2019. And I'm sorry, we got the news of December of 2022, and within the next January 23. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, I have my
It's
dates
all
wrong.
right. It's all right.
21st of December, and then the 22nd of January is when we found out that we were with child and stuff, and
There you go, man.
and
It's a
it was
blessing.
totally a blessing.
That's a blessing. And we had something similar, right? My wife and I were told we couldn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
We went through all the emotions on it, you know what I'm saying? We prayed about it. We asked God why. You know what I'm saying? We
Yep,
we
yep,
wanted
yep,
we
yep.
had to ask the question.
You go through your
And
course,
that's
man.
right. That's right. And but at the end of it, here we are, blessed with two boys, right? And so,
Beautiful boys, man.
blessings, they come when they're supposed to, and
Yep.
not when you want them to, right?
Exactly.
And nobody can tell God what He can do, right? So
No,
yeah,
no one.
so that's big, and that's an important piece that that people need to realize as well, right? Like just because some doctor tell you it ain't gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
that don't mean it ain't gonna happen. That
Exactly. It's final say so.
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now. So you already broke the news. You guys are thinking about another
Yep, yep,
child
yep.
as well. Are you hoping to put some years in between? Are you hoping? You know what I'm saying? Again, they don't got no control over it really, but is it like, what I'm saying? My sister and I are 5 years apart. My kids are 3 years apart. I think 3 years is about the right number of years. But
yes, we would like to start trying around November when my son turns 2.
okay,
So
all right, there you go.
around the same age, man. 3 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's a beautiful thing. 3 years is good. My sister and I like lived in two different worlds. I mean, like I barely knew anything about what she was doing. It was like a whole different lifetime away. You know what I'm saying? I was in
You
high
can only
school.
imagine, Mac, that
Yeah,
with 5 years on your
yeah.
side, I got an older brother that's 7 years
Oh
older than me.
yeah.
So,
See,
man, I used to try to hang out with him. No,
you
it
was
was like
in
white on black.
you was in middle school. He was graduating. That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's like yeah. That's tough. That's tough.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
out of here.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about so you're a year in, a little bit more than a year in, you know what I'm saying? How would you describe yourself as a parent?
That's a great question, and I haven't been asked that before. How would I describe myself as a parent? A I'm a young parent that is still learning.
Hmm.
Most importantly, a God fearing parent. Um, I believe I'm a. I don't want to call myself a gentle parent because he's my child. Let alone he tries to get away with
They
a
all
lot of things.
do. They
It,
all do. Hey, you ain't even hit two yet, sir. It's gonna get
yeah, yeah,
he gonna he
man.
gonna
You
he
know,
gonna be in it. He gonna be into it.
woo,
So
man, he's a knucklehead, man. He just loves being rough and
yeah.
play roughhousing. So I definitely have to put him in his place a couple times. Or just to make sure that he's listening to his mother, and following the rules and foundation that we set.
Yeah.
But describing a parent, man, a humble young parent that is willing to get all the wisdom that is out there for us men,
Yeah, yeah,
us
yeah.
fathers.
I tell you, it is I'm happy to hear you say that. Now this is what I'll tell you about that. Now I again 11 and 8 are my kids' ages. I don't believe that I know all the things about being a father, but I will tell you that there's always going to be more to learn.
Absolutely.
And it'll be situations that will be trying for you as a father, because you've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, I can't believe they just did that. I didn't know that was a thing. I can't believe that is even something that kids are thinking about or seeing or what's happening in the world right now. And there's always going to be something new. And so no matter how much people tell you about what you can learn from, books and YouTube and this, that, and the other, like the reality of it is that every child is uniquely individual, and they are going to test limits in different ways. And the way I feel about it is that the only thing we can do is create safe spaces for the kids to test
Absolutely.
limits. You know what I'm saying? That's
I agree.
that's kind of what I've learned over time, and for better or for worse, because it didn't always come easy. Like I have a temper. Sometimes something I've been working on over the years, and
We all do.
yeah,
You're not the only one.
and I think my kids caught the brunt of it several times. I mean, over the years, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't prepared for the moment that they put me in.
Mm.
And I don't have to be prepared for it. They don't have to prepare me for it, but that it's one of those things that just kind of happens, and you got to figure out how to be prepared for it. So,
I got you.
now,
Thank you for that.
yeah, man. And, and I will say that, your parenting style will evolve over time, and between me, you, and the internet, your wife ain't always going to like your parenting style. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It just
I
ain't
agree.
going.
I can
She
be
ain't going.
explicit.
One of the things that my wife never liked. She
Uh huh.
never liked that I played rough with my kids.
Same here.
And I'm
Same
like,
here.
these are two little boys.
Exactly.
They want to
Yes.
play rough. I'm gonna play rough with them. I ain't
Yes.
gonna break them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. Let them get some roughness,
yeah,
man. Let
yeah.
them be bold.
It's a very real thing. It's a very boy thing. And you'll find some girls that like playing rough too. But if my son want me to body slam him on the bed, I'm gonna body slam him on the bed. You know?
I'm right there with
Yeah.
you.
So,
I'm right there
but
with
but but they don't like that. The wives
you.
don't
Yeah.
like that. I was
It's
like,
the other one. They see cuddles and
right.
gentleness, man, and hugging.
That's right.
So,
And you know what? You know what that's gonna get? That get them down the line. They get them their little mama's boy. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And that's what
Yep.
they want. They want their little mama's boy.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
those are the moments that you're gonna be like, ugh, this boy here is soft. Like,
Exactly. Where did I go wrong?
where did I go wrong? I ain't body slam him enough. But
Oh
but
man.
it is what it is. That's how I go, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of those things happen. Now,
Uh-huh.
let me ask you this. So at this point, you've been through it for a little while now. What would you say has been the hardest part of your first year of parenting?
Um, letting my child be who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Be a child. Just of course, me being the father, I'm always going to look after his well-being and make sure that he's good. But I also have to let him grow and let him fall and have mistakes, just so that he can know on his own how to be a man, or not be a man, because he's 1 years old right now. And my wife always tells me, "Stop trying to make this boy grow up so quick." But um, I do want him to enjoy his childhood. Just for instance, man, we were running, or we were walking the dog the day before yesterday. He was running on the grass, and the grass was a little wet,
Mm-hmm.
and he had on Crocs, so of course the water was getting in his socks wet. But at first I was like, "No, man, come on, let's stop." And he was whining, and then I had thought about it. I was like, he's being a child. He's having fun. He's safe. He's not nowhere near the road. He's on the opposite side. So let him have his fun. And sure enough, having a ball, and it was just, man, let him be a
Yeah.
child and let him grow. And any time that you need to be there, just to be there, like you said, just is making a safe space for him to be who he is, to allow him to grow into who he wants to grow into.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I will say this though. You said something, and I love your wife, but I personally I disagree.
What's that?
We are raising men.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is what I'll say. This has been going through my mind for a long time, so I'm glad you actually said it. Is that we are not we have boys,
Mm-hmm.
right? They came to us as boys. They will always be a male, but it takes conditioning and education and understanding to become a man.
Absolutely. You're right.
And that only happens by way of them experiencing the world, and hopefully experiencing the world with their father
Mm-hmm.
engaged in it with them, right?
Absolutely.
For
You're
some
right.
men, I heard something recently, and it stood out to me. It was like, you know, every boy becomes a man. So that's why I say you raising a man. One day he's going to be a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we do in their childhood is getting them to that place of being a man. And every boy becomes a man. Now, where they are in their growth as a man differs by what they have experienced in terms of their connection with other men in their lives.
That makes complete
So
sense.
you can have two men who are the same age,
Mm-hmm.
but they are not at the same place in
Yep.
their understanding of manhood,
Absolutely.
because their experiences growing up were vastly different.
Yeah.
One may have grown up without a father. One may have grown up with a father who was very engaged. You may have one who grew up in a household where the father was in and out, or the father was abusive. And all of those men will have different levels of what they know to be manhood.
Hmm.
And so, they all running the same race. You know what I'm saying? We all trying to get to that same place of understanding of manhood, but some people's levels are stunted based on what they have experienced. And I think it comes in a couple different ways. Like I said, it comes from not having your father around can stunt your development as a man. Having poor images of men around you can stunt your development as a man, but also being in a situation where you have been kept from having tough times, where you've been, where those things have been kept from you, or where you've always had a parent who's been trying to make sure that you were okay and happy, and you never had to work through things on your own. And I'm not saying these aren't things that women have to do as well, but we're talking about men right now. We're talking about raising men. And so I
Absolutely.
think that's a very important piece about raising men, is that, like, they have to understand that one day a little girl's gonna break their heart.
Yep.
And ain't nothing I could do about it.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I can tell him. Ain't nothing that's because I could have told him leave that little girl alone 800
Yep.
times, but it don't mean nothing until his heart get broken, right?
Absolutely.
And now what do I do on the back end of that? That's the part where I come in and help raise this man, right? Like, how do I help him understand how to move beyond that, right? Am I gonna tell him you don't need no girl? Girls is ain't nothing but trouble. Like, am I going to turn him into what they call the little the uncels, the dudes who who don't feel like they need women or whatever? Or am I going to teach him that there is a woman out there for him? Am I going to explain to him that there is a person who will compliment you in every way? And going through the process of finding that person might mean you're gonna have your heart broken. So get ready. You know what I'm saying? It might hurt now, but it'll pass, right?
God's rejection is sometimes our protection, man.
Exactly. Now, if you don't tell your kid that, if you don't give them that information, that opportunity to experience that,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? What are you doing for them? Right? You stunting their
Right.
growth, right? You stunting their growth. So
Yep.
those are kind of things that kind of they pop into my mind now as as my boys start smelling themselves. You know what I'm saying? Start like, oh, you crazy kid. You don't need no girlfriend. Well, whatever. If that's what you want to do, you know what I'm saying?
Up there. I can't even picture it yet, man. I can't even picture it. And the crazy part is, man, my 1-year-old, he loves females,
Yeah.
man. Anytime he's out and about, he's so fond of females. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like he plays. We actually just had a cookout Sunday afternoon, and we're playing on the basketball court. My wife's sitting down, talking and stuff, and I have him on the basketball court. But sure enough, a young lady with her daughter comes around, and my son gravitates right to her, and now they're playing with each other pretty much for the whole time that we
Hey.
were there. I was like, I even had to tell the daughter and the mother, like, thank you, I appreciate you for playing with my son. And man, I'm just like, he is so fond of women, it doesn't make sense. So I'm not ready for it. I mean, I'm blessed, but I'm not ready for it.
It's a thing, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if he know what he like, he know what look pretty to him, he gonna
Yeah,
he want to be around it, he want to spend time with it.
They say, man, be careful, but knock yourself out though, right?
Right.
All
So
jokes aside,
yeah.
it's beautiful,
So
man.
let me ask you.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's
Yeah.
just a wholehearted kid, man.
Yeah.
Just knows love in the household and shares it wherever he goes,
That's
man.
great. That's fantastic, man. That's what you want, for sure. Let me ask you this question, because I think you kind of touched on it, or maybe you didn't touch on it, but I kind of gathered a little bit from it. And so I want to kind of lean into this a little bit more.
Okay.
What are you worried about most as a parent?
Hmm. Um. What am I worried about most? Him. Seeing me as a failure.
Mm,
Um. Or just not appreciating the time and effort that's put into it, even
mm,
though sometimes it doesn't. The ball doesn't roll in your court sometimes,
yeah.
man. A perfect example of that is Job, man, who had a beautiful life, and flip of a switch, everything changed. And to still have that faith, man, is just so respectable. It's just admirable, man, and I honor that. And as much as I say as much as I say that would affect me, and that's one of my biggest fears as far as being a failure to my son, I know that the Lord has my best interests regarding my son. I know that He has my back regarding whatever situation that we can encounter, whatever hardship. Now, I might stumble, I might trip up for a second, but I always know that He has my back.
Mm,
Whether if He's picking me up and He's walking, the Lord that is
yeah.
Jesus, or it's me straining to get up and making sure that I'm showing a huge effort for Daniel, my son,
Yeah.
and showing him how a true man. But the biggest fear, yeah,
Yeah.
that that's
It,
pretty much it, man.
you know
You
what?
know.
I appreciate you sharing that, and I'll be completely open with you about it. I think I can speak for myself for sure. That is
Hmm.
always a concern of mine, right? And whether it's valid or not is only I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want my kids to ever see me as a failure, as someone who failed them.
Hmm.
We are
Yep.
what I sense, and I think that, and this is exactly where I kind of thought this might go, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit more. Is that um I want you to understand. My hope is that you understand is
Hmm.
that your son will never ever look at you and see a failure if you put your all into it. If you are following your faith, if you are honoring your family, if you continue to do all of those things, he'll never see you as a failure. And it's hard. It's hard to feel that in those moments when things don't go right.
Absolutely.
And I have to remind myself of that all the time
Hmm.
because and and no one is a harsher critic of me than me. You know what I'm saying? Because when things don't go right, when the money a little funny, when
Yep.
when something break, like or when the vacation not working out the way I thought it would, like all I do is I make it hard on myself
Mhm.
because my hope and my plan was for it to be perfect for them.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and you have to remind yourself it'll never be perfect.
Never. Never.
But in your
Never.
kids' eyes,
Hmm.
being there with you, being engaged in whatever it is with you, being a part of that thing and seeing you at your full engagement is as meaningful as anything that he'll ever get.
Wow.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. And
That's
thank you.
it's hard. It's hard, bro. And I know it is because when you are a first time parent, when you want to do all the right things for your kid, when you want to be the good father, the good husband, the good
Hmm.
brother, the good uncle, the good son, whatever, you want to be all the good things, and all you can do is look at this little person who you have to take care of, and you worry about whether they see you as all of
Yep.
those things. and
Yep.
and,
Yep.
and he loves you, man.
Thank you for that, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. Those are beautiful words. And it's kind of funny that you say that because I gave my flower or my father his flowers a long time ago. One time at his birthday, I believe it was his 70th birthday. He's 73 now.
Mhm.
And remember I told you in the beginning that my parents had split up. Um, and I remember when I was a teen when they did it and telling them, man, all my life I was just hoping that this would never happen.
Yeah.
But of course, that's no child's. That's on no child's bucket
Right,
list.
right, right.
Um, Nonetheless, to get back on subject, and long story short, because I tell long
It's
stories,
all
I'm
right. It's all right.
like my wife tells me she knows if I say the long story short, she's like, "Oh, well, get my popcorn, let me get my
Bro,
blanket
I
and
say
stuff."
I say long story long, because
I
that's
know
what.
that's right. Long story long, right? Right. Just keep it honest with yourself, man. I love it. I love it. I might have to steal that from you. uh, Man, giving my father his flowers, man. He was there. It's probably only on one hand that I can count how many times he missed a basketball game. And I played basketball throughout my whole life, from
Hmm.
AAU to going um, out of the not out the country, but out of the state. We went to Florida. We went to West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and other place. But long story short, man. Long story long. Again, he was there for every game. I remember him coaching one team for me. I remember him saying, and this was one time when I was very young, when my team wasn't good at all, and I think we won one game out of the season, and I wanted to quit in the middle of the season, and he wouldn't let me quit. He instilled that willpower and that determination, that discipline, that finish what you start, be a man, and so I gave him his flowers, and I let him know that, man, I always loved you, and I still do. I appreciate everything you do, and I wouldn't be the person who I am without
Yeah.
you, especially being as though I never knew my grandfather. He didn't know his own father. So he didn't have a perfect example as a man. And for him to step out on the limb and do what he did and just love me, I remember walks in the park, which I do with my son all the time. I literally with my son and walk the dog every single day. We might go down to the park one day or something. Just walking Costco Park with my wife and stuff, man. It's beautiful, man, and this journey and giving my father his flowers and stuff. I do feel as though it'll come later,
Hmm.
and I typically tell this to fathers that have young men that are or young teenagers and stuff, man, that might be just looking in the wrong path at the moment, man, and it's only a time and season that we grow up and we do come along the path that you made for us,
Hmm.
and regardless if we drift off for a second, we know what you had in store for us, and it's beautiful when there's a man that is willing to forget what I got going on. I want the best for you, son. And man, it's not too many out there that are. Well, actually, it's a lot. Let me not say that because there's a lot. We just don't get the justification. We just don't get the limelight
Right,
for real.
right.
And it's sad. And I want to tip my hat off to and give my respect and my flowers to every single father that's out there, man. God bless you. I love you, and I'm praying for you and your family, man. Just keep going and don't get tired. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. When a black man is there for his kid, man, that family. I think that's the most important thing in the world, man.
Absolutely.
Family.
Absolutely. 100%, man. I'm in complete agreement with you. And I think that is, I don't know this for sure. I don't have any, data to back this up, but I think that, when I talked about like the levels of manhood, like understanding where you are in that growth point, I think that for some men, they get they don't have examples of other men to talk to. Or they don't feel comfortable talking with other men. right? And that's
Yep.
why I think it's so important to be able to have, places like this, be able to have
Yep.
conversations,
Absolutely.
face-to-face
Absolutely.
conversations,
Needed.
and understand that there is no right way to be a father insofar as, like, you may not ever get $1 million.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But the father who works at McDonald's or Burger King and Wendy's or whatever, Dollar Tree, but is always picking up his kid and is
Mm-hmm.
always making sure that they make time for their child
Yep.
is probably, in some cases, a much better father than the one who's out there with $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Who's letting somebody else
Who
parent their
letting
child?
somebody else parent their child. And so, never a parent, a dad
Yep.
specifically,
Yep.
but parents should never hang their hat on how much they have to determine whether they are a good parent.
That's great. That's a jewel right there.
And
That is.
I think that is one of the things that happens to some parents. So you get some people who are out there, you know what I'm saying? They like, I gotta go make this money, and so they choose making the money as a way to support their family over being there to support their family. And that's a problem, right? And
Yeah.
so it's one of those things that we go ahead. What you gonna say?
I said it's unbalanced.
Yeah,
It's unbalanced. The scale is off.
that's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's that you 100% nail on the head. The scale is off. That's the whole thing about relationships, about being a parent, a spouse. Like, it's about trying to balance
Exactly.
things. It's
Mm-hmm.
never going to be. Sometimes that means that you giving more than the other person.
Yeah.
Sometimes that means you giving more than what you getting.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that but
The 80-20 rule.
yeah, but it's all about the balance, right? It's all about the
That's
balance.
balance.
That's
Yep. Yep.
that's a huge component. Thank you for saying that. That's an amazing thing to remember for sure. Tell me this. So we've been talking now for about 30 minutes, give or take. You know what I'm saying? And I'm enjoying this. This is great. I love talking to new parents. So if you had to, so far, if you had to pick a favorite part of parenting, what would you say your favorite part of parenting is so far?
Oh, there's so many. Um, I would say one that's really up there. Parenting. And this isn't really parenting. This is just enjoying my son. I would say more so, man. Is this hearing his laughter, man?
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
Oh my goodness, man! It brings joy to my heart hearing him laugh, hearing that passion, and just having fun, man. And
Yeah.
kids are just so pure in everything that they do. And but favorite of parenting, my number one thing so far that I've been doing as a parent, it would be learning patience, and I would say that's probably the number one thing.
I wouldn't say that's fun, but it is a thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's not the funnest. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But it's it was depending on how you look at
Yeah,
it, though,
yeah,
man. Because when you go through it and stuff, it's not fun. But when you get to the other
yeah,
side and you realize, like, wow, man, look, where I've come from
yeah.
and where I'm
No,
at
you're
now.
right.
Like
You're right.
the patience that I have now, man, compared to Daniel back in the day.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, man. I just have to thank the Lord, man. I owe it all to him, man. He's been such a blessing to not only myself, my son, my wife, everything that's around me. My car,
Yeah.
man, my job and stuff, man. He's been such a blessing, man. And one thing that I'm doing now is praying more. I've been reading a book called "The Power of a Praying Husband,"
Hmm.
and man, they just dropped some jewels, man. Oh my goodness, just opening my eyes, some different perspectives. And it's written by a female, and I'm sorry that I don't have the author right on top of
All
my
right.
head.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
But the power of a praying husband, man, and it is a great book. And one thing that I've learned to pray on is compassion, courteous, or five things. I'm sorry, and that I put them in one little section.
Oh, good.
But courteous, compassion, love, and the other two. Oh my goodness. Courteous, compassion, love, making sure that communication, and there's one more. What is it? Communication, love, courteous, compassion. I want to say respect. No. As soon as I
It's
get that
like
fifth one, I can
look.
give it back to you. I
It
don't want to waste
it
time.
ain't look. It ain't no. Look. We ain't no test. Ain't no pop quiz here now. I don't know. Maybe your wife
So
giving you
that's
a pop quiz, but it.
Say, look, you get your 90%.
So it looks like the book is by Stormy
Yes,
O'Martin.
Sam Stormy O'Martin.
What that's
Yes.
one heck of a name she got there.
And she gives she even gives little scenarios where you'll be like, well, I thought your husband would be writing this book and not you, but going to getting different perspectives out throughout the U.S. and stuff, man, and different women and different men, man. It is a great book, man, a great read for husbands or to be husbands, future husbands, and it's beautiful, man,
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, that's I know I went left,
No,
man.
no, no. That's but you know what? That's what this whole thing is about, right? Like, if we're talking about, all of the components of what it takes to be in this thing called family, right? Like,
Yeah,
you got marriage, you got kids. Like, it's important for us to know and understand and be able to talk about what it means to be a praying husband, what it means to be the head of the house, right?
yes,
You know what I'm saying? Like, in understanding that even in those moments when I have to tell you, I am personally, I know that oftentimes I am the person who takes care of a lot of the stuff around the house, right? Like, obviously, something breaks, something need to be fixed, or something need to be hung up, whatever, whatever. But at the same time, that's also what I do at work. Right? I'm the fixer. Like, my job, I take care of things, make sure things get taken care of,
mm-hmm.
get put back in order,
Yep,
organized, all those things. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Can I not
mm-hmm.
do that at home?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard because my family understands that we have these parts that we play in the house, in our
Mm-hmm.
family. And some of them probably overdeveloped in some ways, right? Like, people defer to me for things when they shouldn't, and don't defer to me for things when they should. But
Uh-huh. I get exactly what you said.
when I want to say I told you so. Anyway, that's a whole. So, but it's like it's those moments where it's just like I would love for somebody else to take the reins and make things happen sometimes, but
Yep.
that's not the state of where we are in our family, and that's fine. I just have to keep that in mind and understand that's my burden to bear when it's my burden to bear. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
One thing I find um myself feeling better or feeling accomplished is when, on one hand, I would, dang, babe, I would wish you would do this, that, and the third. Then on the other hand, I get on my knees, pray, and then I go handle the things.
Hmm.
And the Lord somehow magically does what he does, and he gets her to start doing the stuff that I wanted to get done in the first place. So I've learned to shut my mouth in certain scenarios, and or I'm learning.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah, yeah,
learned.
yeah.
I'm learning. And is sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's not. Sometimes, and I have, my wife. So if you don't speak up, Yeah, she'll walk right over you. But yeah, it's been times, man, where I would get on my knees and pray for something, man, and the Lord answer it. And sometimes it happens like this.
Mhm.
Sometimes it happens within months, days, weeks, months, years.
Yeah,
But nonetheless, it happens.
yeah,
And the Lord has been there, and He's been answering prayers, man. And I can truly say that my wife and I's relationship has been the best it has ever been throughout our entire what uh 8 9 years knowing each other. Even when we first got together with the puppy love stage and the infatuation and the lust and all of that, man, we're past that. When we know each other, where we are communicating, where we are on the same page, where we are understanding each other, where I have messed up in the past, but laid a foundation now where she can be open to her flaws,
hmm
and whether I can hear my constructive criticism without feeling some type of way. And it's been beautiful, man. And I know this isn't the end all. This it's not going to always be a yellow brick road, and or is that the same?
I don't know, pot of gold or end of the rainbow, the
Exactly.
whatever,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of them.
yeah, something
It's
like
all
that.
good
You know
sayings.
what I'm
They all. I hear you.
saying?
I hear you.
Yep,
And but you're right, man. And that's I'm glad to hear that because I will tell you this, and I don't think anybody would deny that anybody would stamp this and say that's not true. The reality of it is it ebbs and flows, right? Because again, you guys are going to be continuing to grow as
yep.
individuals.
Hmm.
You're going to continue to have things that are going to test um, both of you, but also your son,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Like as he gets older, and maybe your next child, whatever
And that's gonna be another thing.
boy
That's
or
gonna be another.
girl, you know what I'm
Who knows
saying,
how?
right? So like, and those are all going to be things that are there to
Yep.
help
Yep.
you um as you continue to work on being and understanding like how you can have a better temperament, you know what I'm saying, how you can be a better father, a better husband, how you can
Sure.
communicate differently and better, and also know that sometimes when you say things you just talking to yourself. And it's not I ain't this ain't wife specific, that's
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
too,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like it's kids too.
Yeah.
You talking to yourself, you out there, you saying all the things. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a good
That's good.
idea. I don't think you should do that. But you might as well have a speech bubble over your head in a different
Yeah.
language because it's the same thing. They're not listening. So, but that's just the
Exactly.
reality of it, right? But those are all
Yep.
learning lessons. Those are all parts of the what I have learned to this point is that journey that those moments that sometimes are exciting and funny and interesting, and sometimes are a little bit scary, right?
Yeah.
And push you to think about like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming, or I
Yeah.
give you an
Yeah.
example, a quick example. We had to go through this process of my oldest Trey getting his tonsils out.
Mm-hmm.
um and we thought it was all good, no issue, you know what I'm saying. We were in and out as much as you can for getting tonsils out for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But he ended up back in the hospital, and
Wow.
we were very worried about it. I mean, it was scary, like throwing up blood, like it was a whole thing. But I mean, thank God he was fine. But in the moment, like, I didn't
I don't
know.
imagine.
All you can do is be like, "Oh my gosh, did we make a wrong decision getting his tonsils out? Like, is he gonna be
Yeah.
okay?" You just start going through all the things in your head, and the
Absolutely.
reality of it is that it was a moment that could have happened at any time. It could have been any situation, but this was best case scenario because we had it under control. It happened in the hospital. It happened in a place where we were able to, make sure that he was safe,
Yes.
as
Mhm.
safe as he could be, and that's all you could do in
Yep.
those moments, right? So,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, that was tough. It was scary.
Wow.
Those
Oh,
and
wow.
those and I have to
Definitely.
believe that you will have some of those moments as well. Hopefully not those moments, but you know,
I bust my head open twice, and one we was at Costco Park right here. I'm from Clinton. It's a
mhm.
funny thing that I live right by Costco Park, man, because it's a full circle. My mother and my father were out riding bikes, and I was playing with my older brother at Costco Park, man, and I was upside down on something, and he was spinning me around.
Mm.
All of a sudden, I wanted to lift my head up, hit the two poles. It was two poles and a wheel that you hold on, you spin
Oh, I know
around.
what you're talking
I
about.
was holding upside down. I was holding on by my knees and my feet, and I was just dangling upside down. Lift my head up, hit the poles, split my head open. You can still kind of see a little bit of it, man. But I bust my head open twice, man. So I already know my time is coming.
Bro.
And as rough as my son
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
he
yeah.
trust me, he probably done already had about, I say about like 50 scratches
Oh
and
yeah.
marks on him already, and then he's light skinned as well, so that doesn't help.
Well, I mean, it happens, and I told Trey the other day, I was like, Trey, you fell off your bike, bro.
Hmm.
I done hit many a parked car and fallen off my bike over the years, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and
Yep, it's gonna happen.
so
What you do afterwards, man.
that's right.
That's the important part, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So let me ask you this:
Yes, sir.
if you were to kind of describe like the experience of, would you say that you see yourself being like your parents, um as a parent, or have you been working very hard to not be like your parents as a parent?
I do see myself as like my parents. Honestly, I wasn't um what can I say, whooped that much, I guess, or beaten that much. My father, all he had to do was kind of look at me and talk to me a certain way, and I knew I knew what type of
Right,
time it
right, right,
was.
right.
For a quick example, man, back when Kmart was open, and we used to go get I used to go get CDs all the time. He would take me to go get CDs, and one time I had asked him, "Can I get two of them?" And he said, "No, just one." I had sucked my teeth.
Uh-oh.
He looked at me and said, "DJ, you getting older now. I could punch you in your chest." That lived with me for the rest of my life. I used to try to hold on to I used to try to connect my hands on my father's muscle, and I could never touch and lock hands or
Mm.
lock fingertips and stuff. So I would always, granted, I was a kid. I mean, even still now, I don't think I could do it, but he definitely, my father was one of those like, all right, boy, you want to try it. And then on top of that, him and my older brother had some examples that I didn't want to go
Oh,
through.
gotcha.
So I definitely was like, yeah, Pops, yeah, okay, I'm gonna listen to what you
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
say.
yeah. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. Yeah,
But
well, and that's very real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
yeah.
you look at your parents and you like, yeah, I could take some of that, leave some of that.
Yep,
So
yep, yep,
yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So a lot of few people that done tried their father, and I was like, the audacity of y'all. I'm like, I would never.
so I got one last question for you,
Okay.
and this question is a fun one.
Oh,
And
all of them fun, man.
oh well,
I
good.
enjoy
I'm glad you
it,
enjoyed it, man. It's been great.
man.
I've definitely enjoyed talking with you. I know this took a little while for us to get it together. I made the mistake of asking you very early on when you were still probably up late at night, not sleeping much. You know what I'm saying?
But,
So
hey, man, believe it or not, man, it's been a time, man, because we came from California, and I had to come back home and get straight to work. I've been putting in 10 to 12 hour
whew,
shifts at Quantico, man. So when I tell you, it's been some time, man.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
I can deserve it, but I'm not complaining, man. The Lord has blessed me tremendously. I'm not complaining.
good, good, good.
Not complaining.
Well, I appreciate you being here for sure. And so this last question
Okay.
is one that I like to try to ask all the fathers, and it has kind of grown and changed over time a little bit.
No, right?
But it is, if you had to pick one television dad to kind of describe yourself as, would you say, I got a list of them, and then it don't have to be somebody from this list. It can be somebody off this list as well. Would you say that you are more of a Fred G. Sanford, a Uncle Phil, a James Evans, a Carl Winslow, a Heathcliff Huxtable, a Andre Johnson, or a Michael Cowell type of father? Or it could be none of the above. You could be somebody completely different, or none of them at all.
A lot of those are great, great father figures. By the way, I miss shows like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
man. And they're hilarious as well. So I don't look at myself as funny, nowhere near as funny as those guys. But I would say Uncle Phil, and not the money aspect. Between Uncle Phil, I would say, and Carl Winslow,
Okay,
man.
okay, all right, very good, very good. You know, it's funny because I had never even thought about some of the dads on that list until other people brought them up. It's like, oh, what about so and so and so and so, and I was like, oh, Michael Cowell. Like, I hadn't even thought about my wife and
Exactly. It's
kids.
crazy.
Man, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yep.
So,
And it's crazy because they tell me my father looks like Michael Catt. So he looks like Wayne's brother, Damon Wayans, I think. Yep.
cool,
Crazy, man.
cool,
Crazy. But
yeah.
yeah, man, I wouldn't say Damon Wayans, because Damon Wayans was just he was just so funny. I'm talking about, he was just so quick on his feet with everything. I'm just like, jeez, boy, this man's a bad man. Yep, I say Carl Winslow and Uncle Phil for
Cool,
me, man.
very
That
good.
laid back, more laid back type of approach.
There you go. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for being here, man. For being on the podcast. It's been about an hour. It goes quickly. I think, at least for
It
me.
definitely did. I
So
didn't expect it to go by that quick.
yeah. It's first off, let's be honest. Most men don't really sit and just talk like this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely,
we should do it more.
absolutely.
Even if we ain't got nothing to say, it's always, I mean, we can sit and talk about sports all the
I was
time,
about
but
to say, we can find stuff to talk about.
yeah, but that, but isn't, I think this is important as well. So I always appreciate these conversations. I always tell people that this is just as much for me as it is for anybody else. I don't know if anybody listening or watching, but I know that I get something out of every conversation I have. And so I appreciate you being here and sharing a little bit of your story with me and with everybody else as well.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure, man. I love the fact that I was honored that you even asked me.
Oh,
I'm
man.
like, yeah, of course. I don't mind at all, man.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, man, to tell your story and to share your thoughts and your wisdom, man.
Yeah.
So
Great. Well, to all those people out there listening and watching, hopefully you listening and watching and you enjoying. A couple of things you could do. You can share this out to your friends and to your family. You know what I'm saying? You can put it up on your social media, let other people know about the podcast. You can comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment in the comments. Drop me a comment. Tell me, what you think of it, what's going on with you, whatever. And you can also just keep watching, keep listening. You know what I'm saying? I love it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep being a part of the Daddy Confessions family. We love having you. I love the fact that people are enjoying this, and I thank you guys for being here. Peace.
have a good one.